All right, beautiful people of the world, happy Saturn day to you. Saturn, if you go look at the moon right now, I'm making this video it is 9 o'clock, so it'll probably be up about 9:30 by the time it gets done uploading. If you go look at the moon right now, it will be conjunct to Jupiter, right, up in Capricorn, 17 degrees, right now. As I'm making this, it's really cool. You'll see the moon, you'll see Jupiter, and just to the left of that, you'll see Saturn, all right, on Saturn day. Saturn days are about Saturn, all right, Saturn. And we're going to have the moon meeting up with Saturn today. The moon, again, our emotional needs. I guess, I talked about too much yesterday or today about today's video. I did not explain the trine properly. So let me go back and talk about this, because this energy of this water trine, or this grand earth trine, is going to continue. The sun is going to pick up where Mercury is right now in another week and a half. Okay, so the sun will pick up this grand earth trine, and we're going to continue that connection. So it's between Uranus and Taurus, which is a breakthrough, right? The great awakener. Okay, Uranus is the great awakener. Okay, it's the unstoppable force in the zodiac. Where Saturn is the immovable wall, Uranus is the unstoppable force, okay? So when these two butt heads in 2021, this is going to be very challenging times, okay? What happens when an immovable wall connects with an unstoppable force? It's conflict, okay? So anyway, Uranus moving through Taurus. This is the great upheaval. This is the rototiller, if you will, that's saying this land has got to change. Something has to change here, and we have to destroy the foundation of this in order to create something better. Okay, so this being in the sign of Taurus deals with values, deals with money, deals with traditions. So we're seeing that, ATMs I've seen have been closed everywhere. Like, why? I went to 3 different ATMs yesterday in 3 different places, and they were all just shut down. The coin shortage that was going on, we're going to be going over in the next 6 years, we will be going over into a digital currency. Astrology has been talking about this for quite some time. So Uranus and Taurus connecting with Mercury over their home in Virgo. Okay, so it's the rebellious change of tradition and traditional values, okay, connecting with our mental awareness and being precise, accurate, and focused on what it is that we need to break up. Or when things get broken up, which is Uranus's job, is to create release of the tension. The tension is created by Saturn, okay? And the mutable sign of Virgo, Mercury says, I'm going to figure out, if the blocks fall. It's like Tetris. We don't know what the next move is going to be until we see it. We just have to best adapt and move the blocks accordingly to where they go. Okay, so that's Mercury's job in Virgo, is to just go with the changes. We don't know what's around the bend. We don't know what's going to happen next. It's just going to be our job to focus as best as we can and put things in the right order. Okay, now the sun is going to pick up where Mercury left off, like I said, in another 9-10 days. So it's more, instead of a mental thing, it's more ego showing up, ego self showing up, and how I'm going to allow these great changes into my life, and be focused on how I'm allowing these changes to adapt into my life, into my nature. Okay, now the third point of this is up there is Jupiter in Capricorn, which Jupiter is at its detriment in Capricorn. Okay, it's in a sign that it doesn't like to be in. Okay, but we learn much from scarcity. Okay, so with the moon conjunct to Jupiter is about a need for abundance and scarcity, if that makes any sense. A need for saying, I can do with what I have, and I'm going to. Okay, this is like going on a serious diet. We don't need every color of the rainbow Skittles. We need to, even if that's what we really like. We really love Skittles, or I love eating ice cream before bed, or whatever it may be, and saying, yeah, we gotta watch our pennies right now. We don't, maybe we don't have that kind of income to just be continuously buying all of these things that we normally had at one point, that we were used to having in our life pre-COVID, right? So this is going with those changes. COVID has created a huge change and stir in all of our lives. So this grand trine is saying, okay, not only have we had the formation, fire, then we had the emotions, and now we have the practical. We're figuring out a way to deal with this and live with this on a daily basis. You know, this might not be going away anytime soon, right? You know, let's take an honest look. This is supposed to be a daily horoscope, but now we're talking about, you know, COVID. And, you know, when Saturn moved into Aquarius in January, you know, this is when everything came out. Okay. And I talked about it in a couple of videos here. And when Saturn went back into Capricorn, things disappeared a lot. You know, also, there was a very loose square happening. I mean, Saturn only made it to 1 degree 56. I don't even think it got to 2 degrees in Aquarius. You know, so it's just far enough away to just be on the verge of this square to Uranus, but it didn't. So Saturn moved in here. We got hit with this COVID stuff, and we're trying, you know, and then it was, hey, this rush to virtual classes, virtual teaching, virtual this. We're using technology. And if any of you watch my Saturn in Aquarius video, it is literally the thing that I said I hope doesn't happen. I hope we don't lose human connection to connections like this. But connections like this are still very important and very meaningful. And you know, it's much easier for me to talk with my friends in the Netherlands or in Australia or wherever around the world than to have everybody meet every single day at the same time. So, you know, there's benefits of it, but we don't want to lose track of the humanitarian aspect of real life connections, right? So in December, you know, Saturn's going to move back into Aquarius again, and we're going to be revisiting, you know, this a second time in a completely different way. And what we're going to be experiencing is going to be more difficult and more challenging because it will square to Uranus. All right. And these are two fixed signs. Now, the benefit, is this still a daily video? I don't know. The benefit of this, benefit of Uranus, the square to Uranus, is that Saturn's in Aquarius. Saturn is in Aquarius. So that means that the square is to a home native energy to Aquarius. Okay? Uranus is the rebel breakthrough, the release of tension. It's digital, it's technological, it's advancements. Saturn can be looked at as kind of traditional. Although in old astrology, Saturn ruled both Capricorn and Aquarius, but it made much more sense after the discovery of Uranus in 1860 or something like that, that Saturn's kind of home placement makes more sense as the lawmaker in Capricorn, right? The lawmaker. And if we look at, like, you know, I love the astrotheology, the religious ideologies that coincide with astrology, right? Now, if we go look at the moon right now, the moon, you'll see the moon, you'll see Jupiter, it's a brighter star. Then to the left, if you're in the northern hemisphere, you're going to see Saturn. Okay, it kind of looks reddish. And it's just a little bit higher. Okay, now angel in Latin, I believe, it means like messenger. It's a messenger. So often at times the spheres of the heavens, or these angels, spherical angels, they're talking, the messengers of the gods. You know, they're talking about the planets. Planet means wanderer in Greek. Okay, so Saturn, I mean, it's a daily video. Saturn is Satan. Satan, Saturn, they're the same thing, okay? And in the beginning, Genesis 1, in the beginning was light. So in the beginning is the sun, okay? Light. At the end, now we could only see 7 visible planets. Again, planet meaning wanderer. So there was the sun, there's the moon, Mercury, sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Okay, so Saturn sits most high. He was the highest planet in the heavens. Heaven means sky. There's no other word in the Bible for sky. The sky word doesn't exist. It's heavens, right? Genesis 1:14, God created the lights in the heavens to be used as signs and days to separate days, night, and months and years. Anyway, okay, so, you know, the angel that sits most high. And we didn't know about Uranus. We didn't know about Pluto. We didn't know about Neptune, you know, we didn't know about Eris. We didn't know about these planets. We had 7. So if the sun is the beginning, Saturn was the end, right? Saturn was the end, the limit. And often in times it was used as the jury, you know, the accuser. If you look back in Hebrew texts, you know, it was a Satan or the Satan. Meaning the accuser, the person who is, you know, but it was always God's right-hand man. Okay, so somewhere in this 2,000 years of text, and if you look back too, you know, the serpent is never has been the devil, Lucifer, or Satan. It was a serpent. And even then, it had legs. You know, the snake had legs, and according to scripture, God took the serpent's legs away, made it the snake that we now know today, and said you will have your belly flat on the ground. You know, so it's like all of this stuff is kind of interesting how it unfolds through astrology and into the Bible, and through multiple, you know what I mean? The story of Krishna and the story of Jesus are identical. You know, they're very, very, very similar stories of the virgin birth and all of this kind of stuff. Anyway, my goodness, Saturday, Saturn day, long daily horoscope. Well, I mean, I retouched on what's happening here, okay? Oh, I want to show you something else, friends. Look at this. Let's see here. Let's find her. Where's she at? Black Moon Lilith. There you are. Boom! Look at that. Lilith coming to connect with Eris. All right, Lilith just moved out of 23 degrees to 24 degrees. If you're not familiar with Black Moon Lilith, Lilith is a point in the sky. It's not a physical thing. There is an asteroid that they've named Lilith as well. That is not this. This is Black Moon Lilith. Black Moon Lilith is a point in the sky, just like the nodes of the moon. It's not a physical thing, but it's a very real point. You know, these nodes are very real. This axis very much exists, as does the moon, as does Black Moon Lilith. I won't get into all of that. Just look it up if you want to. Black Moon Lilith, though, is I guess since we're in all this astrotheology today, Lilith was first Eve. That's not mentioned really in the Bible that we have today. Lilith was first Eve that refused to bow down to man. Okay. Starting to conjunct with Eris. And Eris is also a feminine figure in mythology that was the goddess of discord. So it's really interesting how we have the wild Lilith here. You know, one of my favorite astrologers, if you guys are familiar with Gepacha says, you know, Lilith is the one that you don't invite to dinner to meet your parents. I laugh so hard. I love, you know, it's a funny way to look at it. But either way, it's like, I don't know. How do you describe Lilith? The archetypal bad, not bad as in not good, but as in I'm going to do what I want. I'm free. If man is free, then woman is free too. You know, and we have this very patriarchal God in the Bible. Okay, you know, it's and it's all and it's like it doesn't make a lot of sense. You know, it's masculine, feminine. You know, this is how life is created. But for some reason in religion we have this. Oh, it's this man God made all things. Anyway, so Lilith here represents that same equal to Adam, not the Eve that's made from Adam's rib that must subside. Evidently, there was a fight between Adam and Lilith on who was going to be submissive and lie on the bottom during fornication. Okay, so this is the mythology, and Lilith refused as well did Adam. Okay. This is all mythology. You know, you start diving deeper into things and you look at Adam and Eve as Adam and electron. Okay, 666, the mark of the beast, is 6 protons, 6 nucleus, 6 electrons. This is carbon. This is carbon. Like when we start to really dig into the Bible, and you know, there's a lot of hidden messages and things that should not be taken literally, that we have taken literally over the past several thousand years. Anyway, so Lilith meeting up with Eris. So we have this unfiltered, raw, I will not subside, I will not submit, okay, meeting up with Eris, the goddess of discord, which is about information. right? And how we're dealing with information. Now we have Mars here with the, only 3 degrees off of these two beauties of the zodiac. And Mars is the aggressor, right? There's another one in religion, like Azazel is Mars, okay? Ezekiel, is it Ezekiel? Maybe I'm screwing that one up, but I know it's Azazel for sure, who taught man about the weapons, okay? Taught man how to make weapons and stuff. That's Mars. And that's a Mars characteristic. It's a totally Mars. So we have 2 kind of bad ladies and a bad boy all together, that's just like, look, I do me and I'm going about my own way. And we have all of them creating this square over there to Saturn, who is the original malefic here in the zodiac. Saturn is Satan, okay? Look it up. It gets deep, okay? But it is not this horned mythological creature that we have created. That's Pan. Pan is the half-hoofed, half-horned Capricorn dude that, plays the flute. He was very ugly, but then he played the flute and everyone loved him, and all the little nymphs and gnomes were like, oh, you're a beautiful musician. Anyway, so it's just like Dante confused this Pan character with, the angel of it gets deep, friends. I don't want to get too deep into that. Anyway, so we have all of this very aggressive energy in Aries right now, okay? We have this, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to say what I want. I'm going to respond and receive this message and do this, and then I'm going to take action and flight in it. And coming back to some of the things that we were saying, the past 2 days, not everything that we think or we feel has actual gravity and weight to it. Okay, the North Node is going to remind us this for the next year plus. Okay, where we're all headed is where the North Node is. This is the head of the dragon. This is where we're flying. Okay, which is seeking knowledge, seeking information, seeking both sides of the coin, and looking at where we were right, where we were wrong. Okay, and we have all been right. We've all been wrong, and sometimes even in being right, we were wrong. You know what I mean? So we have all this square to Saturn, the original bad boy. And this square is, of course, tension and balance. And on one hand, it's me, my, I. You're not going to tell me to be submissive. You're not going to tell me how to feel, goddess of discord. You're not going to tell me how to act, what to do. And Saturn's over here saying, fall in line. You must do this. There is no other way. Well, I bought a car. I want to go drive my car. But you need insurance. And I can't let you leave this lot unless you have insurance on this car, right? There's rules. Sun beginning, Saturn end, the lawmaker, right? I don't know. Anyway, so all of this rebelliousness, and Uranus in Taurus is certainly rebellious and breaking up and shaking the traditions. And it's the rebellious free thinkers right now that are going to be the ones that are going to be really forging ahead during this time, during this COVID stuff, because we don't know when this is going to end. And by me looking at this chart, we're going to revisit it in December. And it's going to be worse than it was this year. Even if you watch my COVID thing, okay, sanitizer and face masks. We need healthy bacteria. We have been so, fear virtued. Fear is a virtue, and until the person on TV tells me whatever, some of us are like this, and it is what it is. There's both sides to every coin here, okay? There's no right or wrong. It's all of us to individual. But the truth is we need healthy bacteria. And when Saturn enters Aquarius again in December, it's going to come back even worse, So, learning to adapt. Very long daily video right now. Mercury and the Sun in Virgo. Learning to adapt. Learning to stay focused. And on what? The first 5 signs, this is very self, right? When we get to the 6th house, this deals with our relationship with the other, but not in partnership form like here in Libra. Okay, this is more like, I've overcome the first aspects of ego, emotions, my own thoughts, my possessions, and me, my I, there's, it's like there's becoming to be this awakening here in the sign of Virgo. Okay. And again, going with this adaptation, going with this change that is extremely necessary, and staying focused on whatever, being adaptive to whatever is happening, and maneuvering in a practical way, not in a way where we're so fiery that people are afraid to talk to us, afraid that we're going to burn them, not so watery that we get emotional every time there's a bump in the road, not so much air that we try to figure out an intelligent way around this, an intelligent way to maneuver. No. This is about being practical. This is about just simply doing. Okay, that's it. We got to just do, and kind of leave the thought process, leave the emotion out of it. As our day continues, here we go. 6 a.m. there, we've got this Moon Pluto connection going on. Moon and Pluto, an emotional need for absolute transformation and change, okay? And Pluto being here in the sign of Capricorn since 2008 till 2024. It's in there for a very long time, all right? This here is I say it all the time, a transformation of our daily lives, making sure that we are staying structured and disciplined and being the best boss to ourselves. And Saturn is here to check that. Saturn is basically the overseer of Jupiter and Pluto in its own house. Do you see that? So Saturn is just playing, nanny, or not nanny. These two are the kind of the nannies. Saturn is just like, okay, I'm you're in my Airbnb here, and I've got cameras everywhere, and I'm going to sit here and watch to make sure that you're doing your stuff right. And if you're not, karma. I am the Lord of karma. And if you screw up my house, if you screw up, my sofa, you're going to have to pay for it. And if you, you know what I mean? If you break the rules of the Airbnb, there's karma. You're going to have to pay for that stuff. Okay? That's, there at 2 p.m., the moon's going to meet up with Saturn, and it's checkpoint Charlie. This is check. An emotional check. Are we staying on top of it? Are we doing what we have to do? Emotionally, we might not want to. Emotionally, we might want to go do many other things. Ambitiously, we might want to go play, the fire signs. And this is saying, like, we just have to be absolutely practical in what we're doing right now. Making the moves necessary. It's getting close to harvest season, basically. And we got to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and others for this coming winter, right? So, it's a long daily video. Thank you. Happy Saturday. Go look at the moon. All right. I love you. I wish you enough. And we'll see you tomorrow.